国众议长佩洛西。
U.S. House Representatives Speaker Pelosi had disregarded the strong opposition from China and our repeated communication. Actually, it is on the U.S. government's brazen arrangements that made the negative visit China's Taiwan area. This trip has seriously impacted China's sovereignty, seriously interfered our internal affairs, seriously violate the promise U.S. had made with China, seriously harmed the Taiwan Straits relations. So it is only natural that the Chinese side must show our strong opposition.
Eland is the director of the Center on Peace and Liberty at the Independent Institute. He joins me from Washington for more analysis on this. Ivan, are you surprised by the level of outrage in Beijing's response to Pelosi's visit to Taiwan?
Well, a bit. I think it's a gross overreaction to this. The Chinese are very meticulous in trying to put Taiwan down, kicking out of international forums, trying to get other countries not to suspend or end diplomatic relations and have diplomatic relations with them instead. So they're trying to isolate Taiwan, and this doesn't really help them do that. But on the other hand, people should have a right to, and countries should have a right to visit any country that they want, whether somebody else, another country agrees with it or not. So I think this military response, they shot one missile over Taiwan the first time ever, and then they shot 5 missiles in Japanese waters as a symbolic cautionary note to the United States and Japan that not to come to Taiwan's defense if they should happen to either blockade it or invade it.
Do you think this is a situation of President Xi Jinping trying to look strong as he's just months away from potentially tightening his grip on power at the CCP's 20th National Congress? And do you think that once that is over, that this will go away, as Andy Rosegen alluded the U.S. is hoping for?
Yeah, I think it'll eventually go away, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's got a problem because he's looking slightly weak because the Chinese economy has been sluggish because of his, really restrictive COVID shutdowns of Chinese cities. So, and of course, his entire legitimacy is based on Chinese economy doing well. So he's in a weak position there. So I think he's trying to, whenever China and other countries they get weak internally, they start being more aggressive externally, and I think that's a major factor by this excessive response. However, I think Nancy Pelosi has a right to go there, but I think at this time, shortly before this conference, this Congress, the Party Congress, Chinese Party Congress, she probably should have picked another time to go if she wanted to go, maybe after the Congress was over. But that it is what it is, and she decided to do it. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I think you're right. It'll probably dissipate after the Congress is over.
It's not just Chinese politics at play here, I'm sure, but we're going into the midterm elections in the U.S. as well. How does this complicate things for President Biden when it comes to his U.S.-China policy?
Well, it was a needless headache for him. He has to look good as well, and his popularity is fairly low right now. But voters are not going to be voting in a midterm election. That is a non-presidential election on the basis of foreign policy. In fact, in general elections, unless there's a big crisis, they don't usually vote on foreign policy there either. So I think it affects the election and it affects his image, but only at the margins. I think it probably affects the Chinese leader much more than it does Biden at this point.
All right, we'll leave it there. Eland joining us from Washington. Thank you for your analysis.
Thank you.